Right then, Joyce versus Filip Hrgovic goes down this Saturday on April 5th, and this is my prediction and breakdown for the big heavyweight fight. And yes, I'm looking forward to it. And as well, I think that Joyce is going to actually defeat Filip Hrgovic this weekend. I'm actually pretty confident in my prediction, to be honest. It is a risk, it is a gamble of a prediction, but I am backing Joyce, and I do think there are many ways he can win this fight. There are also many ways he can lose this fight, but I'm going with the risk. I'm going with the underdog. Joyce is like a 3-1 underdog going into this fight as well. He's a big underdog, if I'm being, he is. The odds say he is a big underdog. But I think he can do it. I've just got that feeling as well that his journey isn't 100% over just yet. And I just have that feeling that, it's going to be a nice, good, happy feeling on Saturday night. Even though, we're boxing, it's a bloody harsh sport. But I just have a good feeling. I just have a good feeling that Joyce is going to win. And there's many reasons to back up my arguments as well. So, look, I think that I think it's interesting because I don't think Filip Hrgovic has got power that can knock out Joyce. Joyce has got, a bloody fantastic chin in the heavyweight division. It's bloody fantastic. I mean, very clearly, though, it's not as good as it once was a few years back, but he's still got that chin. And, that is basically what Joyce's game is. Having no defense, really, but showing his fantastic chin and never really taking a step back. Joyce is always the one coming forward on the front foot. And I do think Joyce is 100% going to be able to push back Filip Hrgovic. Filip Hrgovic gets his best success when he's able to, get his straight shots through. When Filip Hrgovic is able to find his range, where, he's in the middle of the ring against his opponent, he's able to get a field day with that straight right hand. And that is what gets his most success. It's that nice, quick, straight backhand from Filip Hrgovic. And that is good, but with Joyce, I feel like he's very good at not letting you get full extension through your shots. I know what people are going to say. Oh, when Joyce was able to back up Derek Chisora, Derek Chisora is still able to get some great success. But in my opinion, I think Derek Chisora is a much better inside fighter than what Filip Hrgovic is. I think Derek Chisora hits harder than what Filip Hrgovic does. And, Filip Hrgovic, I think, definitely mixes it up more than what Derek Chisora does. I mean, that's definitely fair to say. But I feel like as the fight goes on, Filip Hrgovic gets really, really, really bloody sluggish. And I mean, he gets really sluggish when the fight goes later and later. And I feel like, something that Joyce doesn't get given enough credit for is the cardio and the pace that he can keep up throughout the fight. He's always pressuring you throughout the fight. And this is a 10-rounder as well. And so I think, it's only going to benefit Joyce's stamina. And look, people are going to say, but Joyce got dropped by Chisora later on. But that is because Joyce if I'm being completely honest here, though, I think the bloody thing's just lagging. But if I'm being completely honest here, though, I think that, Filip Hrgovic isn't, prone to those, throwing those massive, looping overhands over the top. That's not really Filip Hrgovic's style. He don't really throw massive overhands. And I think they're the kind of styles that Joyce struggles the most against. The Derek Chisoras, getting hit with those overhands constantly. When he was fighting Christian Hammer, Joyce, he was getting hit with those overhands constantly. When he was fighting Carlos Takam, he was getting hit with those overhands constantly. You look at when Joyce fights Joseph Parker, for example, when Joseph Parker lets his shots fly straight and when, Joseph Parker likes to box more. I feel like it's going to be the same here. Filip Hrgovic, I think, is going to look to box and try and outskill Joyce. I think that's what Hrgovic is going to try and do. I mean, I've seen loads of people saying Hrgovic is going to stop Joyce. In my opinion, I don't think Hrgovic has got the power to stop Joyce. And I don't think that Hrgovic has got the power in order to be able to push someone like Joyce back. And when Joyce is pressuring you, when he's in his face, Joyce's jab is consistent. It's slow as bloody hell, if we're being completely honest with you. I mean, honestly, It's hard to describe how slow Joe Joyce punches, but it is somewhat effective though. That is the thing. And, like when Joe Joyce fought Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce was able to look better against that kind of style. He was able to look better against the Joseph Parker kind of style. And I think, if anything, Filip Hrgovic is more similar to Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker than what he is similar to someone like Derek Chisora or Carlos Takam. I'm not, saying that Hrgovic has got, an identical style to Dubois or Parker. I'm not saying that, but he's more in that realm with the way that, he lets his shots fly and the way he approaches fights. But yeah, I feel like if Hrgovic can't get full extension through his shots, then I think that is when he's struggling to really look good offensively. I think Hrgovic inside game, in my opinion, I mean, we can have the odd bit of success on the inside, but at times it can look very, very, very sluggish. And if Joe Joyce can try and bat Hrgovic up, get that jab going, get that in his face. And I think Joe Joyce has got a good lead hand. I think that is something which Joyce has got to get given more credit for. That is his lead hand. I think with Hrgovic, when I see Hrgovic fight, I do want to see him get his lead hand going himself more. So I feel like Joe Joyce would possibly win the battle of the lead hands. But I do think, although Hrgovic isn't known for an amazing jab, his shots can come well behind his lead hand, though, and he does. Hrgovic does have some clever feints behind his lead hand, but I feel like Hrgovic is very easily tired. And when you're in there with someone like Joe Joyce, who's always going to keep coming, I think that's only going to tire out Filip Hrgovic even more, in my opinion. And if we look back through Filip Hrgovic's career, the guy was knackered in that Dempsey McKean fight. He was knackered. And let's be real, most of the time has proved that Dempsey McKean win for Filip Hrgovic ain't all that really. And it took Filip Hrgovic 12 rounds to get Dempsey McKean out of there eventually. And Filip Hrgovic was bloody knackered in the process. I mean, just looking back through his fights, he gets knackered. I mean, I was looking back at the Zhang fight earlier. I thought Hrgovic started pretty well, but as the fight kept on going on and on and on, Hrgovic was knackered late on in that fight and was really, really sluggish. And that is against someone like Zhang as well. And Zhang gets really tired as the fight goes late. And Hrgovic was probably even more bloody gassed than what Zhang was in the end of that fight. Joe Joyce, you never really see him overly tight. Joe Joyce can keep up a decent pace. And it's probably because, he doesn't, exactly punch fast or anything like that. It doesn't really move fast. He gets hit a lot, though, and he still keeps coming, though. That is the thing. But I think with Joyce, he is good at punching when he is coming forward. And that might be something that could put Filip Hrgovic off his game, but you never know. The argument could be if Joyce gets too messy, Filip Hrgovic can pull back with a good counter. I mean, that is something as well. But from all the reasons I've said, I do feel like Joe Joyce will be able to win this fight, and I'm going to say that he wins it via decision. It could be unanimous, it could be split, I don't know, but I reckon it could be close, like 116-112, Joyce or something like that. But it could be majority even as well. Joyce could have it draw, then the other two have Joyce. But yeah, I reckon Joyce wins a decision here. I don't think either guy would get knocked out. I feel like it could be a very sluggish fight at times, but yeah, I'm feeling Joe Joyce wins. I do. Anyway, thank you for watching. And yes, I'll speak to you all in the next one. Let's wait and see what happens on Saturday. People are going to slap me off for this prediction, but all I'll say, let's just wait and see.